Hi, and welcome to the Mobile UX Marathon, a series of weekly webinars by Google on how to improve user experience and conversion rate on mobile web. Today's webinar is called UX Best Practices in Mobile, and specifically we're going to look into basics of homepage design and landing page design, and we try to find those best practices that are relevant for all industries. And please do share your questions with us on the Mobile UX Marathon website. You can find the link to the website in the video description. Later, we will have a live stream session with Google experts in user experience and design, and we will be able to address all your questions at the live stream. And before I begin, I would like to introduce myself. Hi, my name is Anna. I'm a user experience specialist at Google, and my team is working with companies all over the world, and we are helping them to optimize user experience on mobile web. So today we're going to discuss, first of all, some basics of the homepage design. And here it's really important to understand on how you're creating the first impression to the user. So imagine the user comes to the landing page for the first time. They probably came there with some intention, interest, or expectation. So different studies show that the majority of people will actually decide, will make their opinion about your product or service from what they see above the fold. That's why it's really, really important on what content you prioritize and show above the fold. So given this, we believe that there always should be three elements present above the fold. First of all, it's a very clear value proposition, which would describe what your business is offering, what makes you stand out from the competition, and why the user should stay there and explore the content. This should be something relevant for all users, like, for example, a discount, information on free delivery, or some statement of who you are as a company. There also should always be a call to action above the fold, and that's okay if you have multiple call to actions. That's basically the way you give users different ways to explore the content. You just have to be very clear yourself on how you want people to start exploring the content in the first place and which CTA is the primary one. Whether, for example, it can be a call to action button on a banner, or it can be a navigation panel or invitation to scroll down the page. And the last but not least are the visuals. And this is something that many companies usually underestimate, depending on the industry. But you should never really underestimate the importance of visuals, especially when it comes to forming the first impression. These can be images illustrating your product range, visuals that support your value proposition, or visuals that would show the user some happy picture of the future and where the user can get if they use your service or product. So now let's just have a look at how different industries apply that and discuss few examples from travel, retail, and finance, right? So the first one, even such a big brand as Booking.com still displays the value proposition above the fold. They still remind people on what their service is about. It's about searching destinations. Also, they have two main call to actions above the fold: the search widget for accommodation, and also high-level categories allowing to switch into searching for other types of destinations. It's also important to expose high-level categories of all services or products that you have on the homepage, and preferably place them above the fold so that you give users an understanding of what is that wide range of your business services and website functionality. If we look further at the Coolblue example, they display the value proposition right next to the search bar, right? Order before midnight and get a free delivery tomorrow. So what they do is they actually display this value proposition throughout the funnel in the same place, on the homepage, on product listing page, and on product detail page. So that's the way how they always remind people the key thing about their website, about their service offering, and why they should stay and continue exploring and proceed to checkout. That's a very powerful thing to do, and I highly encourage you to test that. The main call to action on the page for them is, first of all, an exposed search bar. It's also the banner in the middle and an invitation to scroll down below and to browse the high-level categories. And I do want to emphasize the importance of displaying fully the search bar, and this is actually a great functionality that should not be hidden behind any icon, and users who have a certain purchase intent already will appreciate it a lot. In the example of KBC, I wanted to draw your attention to the call to action and talk about a little bit about that. So every call to action button is a collection of 4 things: a placement, a shape, a message, and a color. So if these 4 aspects are in line with each other, you will have a great call to action button. And of course, now I will say that you should A/B test all of the 4. So regarding the color, the rule is the more contrast you give to it, the more attention it's going to get, and the more people are going to interact with the button. So if you have just one key call to action per page, like in the example of KBC, you can afford a very bright, high contrast color. If you use multiple call to actions, you can use maybe ghost button design so that it doesn't steal all user attention and also allows other elements of the UI, like maybe navigation panel, to still be present. And the last one is call to action placement, right? Where you put it on the page. So here it's a very nice solution that's fixed on the bottom of the page. And if you have, again, just one key call to action per page, you do want users to always consider that call to action. And that's why it's a really good solution to fix it either on the top or on the bottom of the page. The bottom one is a little bit more ergonomic location for mobile. But in general, that's the way how the CTA is always visible to the user, which is a very elegant solution rather than duplicating the multiple CTA buttons down the length of the page. And so also here's an example showing how important to test the call to action copy, right? The text label that you put on the call to action button. So this is a case study from the hotel search team announced at Google I/O. They used to have a label, book a room. And what they found was that maybe the user is not yet ready to commit at this stage. So they switched it to check availability. And what they found was that this was actually meeting the user where they were at that moment of their journey. So do test different text labels of your call to actions, but also where you put the call to action buttons, what shape they have, and what color. That's very important for optimizing your website for conversions. And just to repeat what I have already said in the example of forbooking.com, it is very important to expose high-level categories of all services or products that you have on the homepage, and preferably to put them above the fold so that you create an impression of your business and website functionality. If you want to feature just individual products on the homepage, you will not be relevant for 100% of your users. This may also be seen as too pushy for certain user types. And also the first-time visitors may decide that you just sell t-shirts, and they will have no idea that you sell actually much more. So it's very important to complement also high-level categories with visuals. It can be either icons or photographs. Processing text isn't something that our human brain was built for. We all learned to read at some point, right, when we were at the age of 5 or 6, but it's still something that we learned. However, the recognition of images is something that is really we're doing in the first second when we see the object. So that is a very strong signal for the human brain. Do always use the images and always A/B test which one works best for your landing page design or for your audience. And again, if you have search on the website and if it works well, then it's one of the key call to actions on the landing page. Do use design to emphasize the search bar and display it prominently. A/B tests show that the more prominently you display the search, the more actual searches and clicks you're going to get. And another reason why you should consider A/B testing that is because the conversion rate for users who search is usually higher than for users who don't search. That means that people who use search, they already came to your website with a certain intent, with an idea of what they want to buy. And usually these users, they kind of cost more for your business. And that's why you should provide them with an excellent search functionality and display it prominently. And the last thing here about designing your landing page is carousels of promo banners that many companies put on the homepage, right or very often above the fold. And what they also often do, if they put them into automatic rotation. So that's usually not a great user experience, and this is a forced content exploration. We do get really annoyed by animation, and quite often we perceive these animated banners as ads. And even if I get interested in what's on the banner and I want to study it a little bit more, then it moves away from me. Also, statistics says that the first banner usually gets most of interactions and the rest are just being ignored anyways. So the solution here is you can just switch off the animation and put user in control. Allow this to be user-initiated exploration because engagement is a new currency in the UX world. And this way, these interactions are just going to cost much more. So this is an example of Bineka.com. Mobile website design is a very consistent one across different devices, and they also let users control the carousels of banners, which is a really, really nice experience on the homepage. That's it for now. So here you can find more resources on the landing page design, different talks at the Conversions at Google conference that we host twice a year in the European headquarters in Dublin. Also, my colleague Lena Hansen has created a really amazing course on conversion rate optimization called Win in Mobile, and I would highly encourage you to check specific sections of that course related to best practices of UX and specifically testing value proposition. And also, as I have mentioned, we will have different live streams hosted as a follow-up to these pre-recorded videos. And in the live stream that is going to happen on the 14th of May, we will discuss UX case studies, and we will show you more of examples of different A/B tests that different companies and Google have been running on the mobile websites. And hopefully we will be also have enough time to answer all your questions. So please do submit your questions for us in advance on the Mobile UX Marathon website, but also you will be able to submit them during the live stream as well. So that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching this with me. And I remind you that there is a hashtag that you can use in the social media if you want to post anything about this course. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in May.